Thanks for tuning into this latest weather briefing. This is Alex Tardy, meteorologist with National Weather Service. We're going to recap the Thanksgiving storm as it was a high impact one. And we're going to talk about the next storm that we're going to call moderate impact for Wednesday, December 4th. All right, recapping some of the rainfall from the Thanksgiving storm. It started pretty heavy on November 27th and lasted all the way through November 30th. Widespread 1 to 3 inches as expected along coastal valley and adjacent foothills. Some areas received as much as 3 to 4 inches of precipitation, and the rainfall that came down was quite heavy as well, with rain rates as much as 3/4 of an inch per hour, and locally in some of the thunderstorms 1 inch per hour. Snowfall was large and significant, especially Thanksgiving Day and the day afterwards. We saw snow accumulating all the way down to Cajon Pass level. We saw snow even on the ground all the way down to about 3,000 feet. Snowfall was difficult to keep up with across the higher terrain above 6,000 feet, where as much as 1 to 3 feet of snow, as expected, fell across those areas, and even locally more, as much as 4 feet up around ski resort level of Big Bear. Very high impact from the heavy snow. Now, the rainfall was significant too, especially in San Diego County. We saw some areas where flash flooding occurred, such as near the RV park on I-8 in La Mesa, where just too much rain, about an inch an hour. Same with National City and also in North County, San Marcos, Carlsbad, up towards Camp Pendleton, where just too much rain came down all at once in some of those storms on Thanksgiving Day and Thanksgiving night. How are we doing so far? So the month of November, despite not having much precipitation at all across the entire state, 2 storms made us about 1.5 times as much as average across far Southern California. Northern California, however, different story. Despite the 1 storm they had on Thanksgiving, they're still looking at precipitation deficits that are large across that area. Overall, the desert Southwest was much wetter than expected. While we expected Northern California to be dry, it was even drier than expected for November. Temperatures were about as what it was expected. It was basically across our mountain regions because of the lack of storms for most of the month, much above normal, several degrees above normal for temperatures across a lot of our mountainous terrain. Now, when we look back to the start of the water year, October 1st, you can see the same picture is painted, that the Colorado River Valley all the way down to the Imperial Valley and San Diego and western Riverside counties, those are the areas that have already received 1 to 2 times as much precipitation, whereas across Northern California, north of Interstate 80, those areas received basically less than 20% of what they should for this time of year. The rain was heavy across our region on Thanksgiving Day. Here's an example of what we mean by heavy rainfall rates, where we actually saw gusty winds from these thunderstorms and even small hail and torrential downpours. The weather pattern that's shaping up for this coming Wednesday, December 4th, is different. It's a closed storm system, but it's separated from all the cold air in Western Canada. Because it's separated, it's coming in as a milder, warmer system. It has similar moisture tap to it, but it's going to be a short, potent system that comes through mainly on Wednesday, and it's also weakening as it moves through. Now, it does have a brief atmospheric river connection to the south, a lot like our Thanksgiving storm, but albeit brief, and the storm system moves through rather quickly on Wednesday. Expected rainfall, nonetheless, across most areas is a 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches. So no matter where you are, about a 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches, you're going to see some locally heavy rain, more than that across the coastal slopes because of the southwest winds coming in, hitting those slopes and enhancing the precipitation. So some of those areas could see 2 to 3 inches of water in the normal wet spots. And we also see some precipitation spilling over into our desert areas that we'll have to keep an eye on because this is a rather compact, intense storm when it moves through. So overall, even a 1/2 inch to 1 inch spilling over into the desert areas. Rainfall rates, and those are key rainfall rates, generally 1/4 to 1/2 inch, which can cause some problems, mainly in low-lying, normal flood-prone areas. If we do get some isolated thunderstorms, then we could see some rates up around 3/4, 0.75 per hour, and that can cause flooding issues anywhere. Snowfall, this is a warmer storm, but we do expect snowfall down to about 5,500 feet Wednesday afternoon. But most of the accumulations will be above 6,000 feet, where we'll see a slushy inch to maybe 3 inches up around the mountain communities, and at the ski resort level, several inches of snow up around 7,000 to 8,000 feet. It is expected to be a windy storm when it comes in, even for coastal areas. So we'll call it generally breezy conditions across the region. Nothing excessive, but still nonetheless breezy conditions on Wednesday. The outlook calling for the next storm looks like we're going to have to wait. Most of the energy from the storm this coming weekend goes to our north, but we do see a potential for another storm breaking off from the jet stream somewhere between December 11th and 13th. So that's why most of California is painted in the above chances or the green shade. Now, when we get deeper into December or mid-December, it looks like the storm track is probably going to shift and be focused more toward northern California and the Pacific Northwest, where they are running much below normal for this time of year. The overall December outlook is painting the same picture, where the wetter chances or the above average precipitation is expected to be for the Pacific Northwest, and then diving into the Great Basin area, with our region just getting clipped by those storms. Overall, this is what we expect for Wednesday. It is much weaker compared to our Thanksgiving storm, but nonetheless, it is compact. It is rather potent for a short period of time on Wednesday, December 4th, so we do expect widespread precipitation, probably setting up right around sunrise on the 4th and quickly becoming heavy at times even during Wednesday morning, and then tapering to scattered showers Wednesday night. Initially, the snow levels start off rather high, but they do get down to around 6,000 feet with some accumulation, and as low as 5,000 feet with some wet snowflakes. Now, we expect to see rainfall rates generally 1/4 to 1/2 inch per hour in some of the heavier bands that go through Wednesday morning and Wednesday afternoon. Overall, rainfall is 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches for most coastal valleys and desert areas, with our coastal slopes, those areas facing towards the southwest, capturing that moisture coming in off the ocean, up to 2 to 3 inches of water in those areas. Snowfall, again, a slushy 1 to 3 inches at 6,000 feet mountain town level, and a little drier snow of 4 to 8 inches up around resort level on Wednesday. There is the potential, as there is some cold air, for thunderstorms on Wednesday, and again, those thunderstorms, isolated as they might be, would produce the heavier rainfall rate and also give the best chance for the typical urban small stream type of flooding issues. All right, make sure you tune into Weather.gov San Diego for the latest updates, and on there we will post any watches and warnings that may need to be issued. At this time, most of the expectation is for advisory level or lower impact level impacts from the snow and from the rainfall.